Why, hello there. It's your distinguished gentleman, Sir Richard Cackington III, and today we are going to be discussing the most important weapon that absolutely all of you watching need to craft during Season of the Haunted, Season 17 of Destiny 2. And so, let's get started. Now, first off, I really don't just mean craft, I also mean investing the time to level up this weapon after you've crafted it, change around the perks, improve its starting stats, get it to that full level 20 boost, and also, this is a weapon that absolutely is worth investing the resources to get enhanced perks on. It's a weapon that takes them very, very well, and that weapon is the CALUS Mini-Tool. Now, before we talk about that, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, wait a minute, how is it not the Austringer? The Austringer hand cannon is getting so much attention right now. So many people are saying it is the best hand cannon in the entire game right now. But here's the thing, those same people were saying the Cantata 57 was the best hand cannon in the game last season, and then before that, the IS Luna was the best hand cannon in the game, and before that, the Fatebringer was the best hand cannon in the game, and before that, the Palindrome was the best hand cannon in the game. The fact of the matter is, frankly, all of these people are correct in some way. Each of the top tier, S+ tier hand cannons has certain factors that you could argue make it the best hand cannon in the game. But the thing about the Austringer is that although even still it might win the competition by a tiny bit, it's not like you can't compete with a Godroll Fatebringer still if you don't have an Austringer. The CALUS Mini-Tool, on the other hand, unlike all these hand cannons that are just all fantastic and all top tier, the Mini-Tool sets itself apart from its competition. You're able to do things with this SMG that no other 900 RPM SMG can even come close to doing. If you're looking to achieve certain synergies, it's the CALUS Mini-Tool or nothing, and that is what makes this weapon so darn desirable. Now, let's take a moment to talk about it and its competition, those lightweight frame 900 RPM SMGs. Now you may be thinking, wait a minute, the CALUS Mini-Tool isn't a lightweight frame, and technically it's not. It has a unique intrinsic trait, Mida Synergy, which says superb handling, move faster with this weapon equipped. And that's also what it says for lightweight frames, so it's technically still a lightweight frame, but there's actually more. You also gain additional speed benefits when the Mida Multi-Tool is also equipped, which is an exotic scout rifle. So basically, it's a lightweight frame with even more potential benefits. And lightweight frame SMGs, guys, they are literally god tier within PvE. I mean, the submission from Vow of the Disciple, the funnel web, these are weapons that are used in pretty much every PvE activity up to day one raids. They're absolutely fantastic weapons. Generally, those 900 RPM SMGs, they output a significant amount of damage in terms of a primary, and that's why so many players favor them. So right off the bat, just because of its archetype, it's already an extremely powerful weapon. And then it gets access to a brand new perk that we've never seen before this season, Incandescent. Now, this says defeating a target spreads scorch to those nearby. More powerful combatants and opposing guardians cause scorch in a larger radius. Now, the Mini-Tool isn't the only weapon that can get this perk. The Without Remorse shotgun can get it. The Fixed Odds machine gun can get it. But if you look at weapon archetypes and their position in the meta, yeah, you're definitely going to want to use the lightweight frame SMG. And guys, the Incandescent perk has really proven itself to be just a fantastic PvE perk. Basically, on its own, not looking at synergies just yet, just on its own, if you're using this on a Void subclass, it's just like a better Dragonfly, right? Why would I ever use Dragonfly now where I have to get a headshot and it does a damage over a radius, and frankly, that radius is only anything decent if I'm using a Dragonfly spec mod, when I can use Incandescent, which is going to trigger that kind of explosion no matter how I kill the enemy. I don't need a precision shot anymore. I can shoot them in the toe and it's still going to spread that scorch effect. Now, it's not going to do that initial damage explosion, the big damage, but it's going to do damage over time. But if I kill like one more guy, because of the nature of scorch stacks, when an enemy gets enough scorch stacks, they ignite, which causes an area of effect damage explosion. So basically, I can like build my own dragonfly. I just need to kill like 2 enemies beside each other, and then enemies are gonna start exploding with ignitions. I don't need precision headshots. Like, it just seems like an absolutely incredible crowd control perk just on its own. But of course, things get nutty when you're using Solar 3.0. And right now, Solar 3.0 is in a really good position. I mean, the Loreley Titan is, I made a video on it. It's unkillable. Like, it is absolutely incredible for survivability. I run it so much, even in endgame content. I was farming Master Dungeons last night, running a Loreley Titan, right? I mean, Solar Hunters with Classy Restoration are super popular and powerful right now too. So if you're running a Solar subclass, you use the CALUS Mini-Tool with Incandescent, and Scorch is a keyword. So there's a bunch of fragments that give you benefits for applying Scorch, or make you apply more Scorch, or improve the effects of ignitions. And so running Incandescent will synergize with your build. I mean, for the Titan specifically, you can make sunspots that will heal you when you stand in them by just triggering Incandescent with getting kills with Scorch, which is so easy to do with a 900 RPM SMG. So, in my opinion, Incandescent is a requirement on the Mini-Tool. It's what sets it apart from its competition. And I did spend the resources to get Enhanced Incandescent. Now, this says defeating a target spreads a longer lasting scorch to those nearby. So just a longer burn effect equals more damage. Pretty much worth it just in that. You also have more time to inflict more scorch stacks to get those ignition explosions, etc. Now, it's not going to be terrible if you don't have the enhanced version, but again, I feel like the Mini-Tool is kind of the best overall craftable weapon of the entire season. This is the weapon where you should invest your resources in and try to get those enhanced perks. But what about the other perks? Well, here it's a bit more up in the air. I ended up going with Enhanced Threat Detector. Now, this says greatly increased reload, stability, and handling when targets are in close proximity. So, if you're using an SMG, if you're doing a variety of different PvE content out there, Threat Detector is going to be active the majority of the time. Like, you are often surrounded by enemies, and therefore you'll get a noticeable reload speed increase, and that's really the main factor. With a 900 RPM SMG, you're shooting out your ammo pretty darn fast. You're going to be reloading a lot. So anything that can reduce that reload speed is very, very beneficial. However, I think there is a legitimate argument here for Unrelenting, where Unrelenting is going to provide healing if you rapidly defeat enemies. And goodness knows it's going to be easy to rapidly defeat enemies when they're all burning and near death anyways, right? So having something that's going to do all of this insane scorch stuff and also heal you is going to be so darn good. So I really think, again, there's an argument for Unrelenting. I do just think that Threat Detector has a better baseline. Like, it's always going to be pretty darn good, whereas Unrelenting, especially if you're running something like the Loreley Titan, if you're running Classy Restoration, I'm not sure you necessarily need it, whereas you're always going to want that increased reload speed. Speaking of which, for my magazine, I went with Flared Magwell just for that base increase to reload speed all the time. Alloy Magazine is another good choice, but I would stay away from the extended magazine perks because they add like 3 extra rounds, like whoop-de-doo. I would much rather have better reload so I can get to that next magazine rather than have a pretty tiny magazine size increase. Now, for the barrel, it's really personal preference. I ended up going with Chambered Compensator just for that better recoil control and stability and so on, and then I actually selected range as my kind of masterwork intrinsic increase to offset that a little bit, because With SMGs, even in PvE, you are going to notice that range fall off, so having a bit more is nice there. But again, that's as well more personal preference. Just pick what you want. Now, in addition to all of that stuff, the mini tool also gains access to the to excess origin trait, where final blows with this weapon while your super is full grant a bonus to strength and discipline for a moderate duration. This is pretty darn good, guys. Your super is full actually quite a bit. Like, not many people are popping their super the second it's up. I mean, imagine, a lot of higher level content scenarios where you're rallying and getting your super at the very beginning of the encounter, and you're likely saving that super maybe until the boss fight. So then that means every single kill is giving you a more grenade regen and more melee regen. And obviously, especially with the synergies of the CALUS Mini-Tool and Scorch and all that stuff, getting more abilities is also playing even further into making your build more powerful. So just really fantastic package overall. And that is my new crafted SMG that I've been using ever since I made, with 2 enhanced perks. It has been absolutely phenomenal, and again, it's a game changer. If you're running Solar 3.0, I'm running the CALUS Mini-Tool over any other 900 RPM option, and this is really going to cement itself as an incredibly solid PvE weapon moving forward. And so guys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.